Welcome to The Woodshed with Cody Wood right here on the Equus Radio Network. This is a place for honest talk with real stories from some amazing guests. Here we talk about life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. From small town roots to big dreams, from the rodeo arena to the back porch, we dive into what makes us who we are. So whether you're chasing 8 seconds or just trying to make it through the day, you've got a spot right here in The Woodshed. Here's your host, Cody Wood.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode here with the Equus Radio Network here at the Woodshed with Cody Wood. I'm here with Colton Clymer, a fantastic up-and-coming bull rider that is really having a great summer right now. And so, Colton, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is one I've been looking forward to catching up with you. I've had the opportunity, living here in Cheyenne, and for you kind of coming up right around this area. I've had the chance to watch you and announce your name and watch you ride bulls quite a bit over the last 4 or 5 years. And so to kind of see some of the success you've had right now has been awesome, man. And so, the summer's been treating you well. You're kind of right there in the mix in the circuit standings and having a pretty good month right now.
Yeah, I'm sitting, I think right now I'm 8th. Been having a really good summer. Last year I kind of jumped in the PRCA and just wanted to get my feet wet with things, and this year really got it going, and so it's been really fun.
Yeah, and like I said, just from watching from afar, and obviously went on a college rodeo, I believe, and did a bunch of different things, but just in, like I said, from me watching you, and at some of these bull ridings and things around here, you had ability, you were getting by some rank aspects of bulls, making some ranked bull rides here, but you're starting to just get a more and more consistent. And like I said, I just studied and got myself ready for the Craig Colorado Pro Rodeo going on. So yeah, so you're at number 8 right now. You have over $10,000 in the circuit alone,
Yeah.
So, that's a pretty good stretch, and there's still a lot of season left.
Yeah, for sure. There's still a ton of money added, or up for grabs that's added this week and stuff. Like we go to Afton Friday, and there's 10,000 just in the bull riding there. So it's still anybody's game, but I really like where I'm sitting right now. So
Yeah, good deal, good deal. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities still left, and so tell me, kind of taking it back, where did you actually grow up at? Where did you go to high school?
So I'm from I born and raised in Loveland, Colorado. I went to Loveland High School, but I never really had like the opportunities, to go get on all the time growing up in town and stuff. I definitely had to ask around and, find guys that had places to get on. Like Cheyenne's one of my biggest places that I go to up at Dalton and Dallas Willis. They've done a lot for me, and having bulls for guys to get on and stuff. So it's been really good.
Yeah, is that where you primarily kind of got your start, or did you go like, some of those deals with Kevin Rich or down to JD Ford's? Has it mainly been up here in Cheyenne?
It's mostly been in Cheyenne. I've been to JD's a handful of times, but I never really got into going and getting on with Kevin and them guys. We knew of them, but they didn't really have anything at the time that was, I guess really fit me. Because when I first started out, I had like my dad and grandpa rode bulls, but I didn't have the opportunity, like I said, to get on all the time. So I
Yeah,
definitely had to come up through it a little bit different. But
yeah.
I found junior rodeos and, basically whatever I could find just to get on stuff and get into it.
Yeah, that's understandable, man. And so that was actually one of the things I was going to ask is how did you get into it? So your dad and your grandpa rode bulls, or what'd that look like?
Yeah, my dad, he did some, like he rode through high school and tried to do some amateur stuff. And then my grandpa he rode back when it was the RCA before the PRCA. And then he did some old timer rodeos and stuff. So I've definitely been around it. And then a good friend of my dad's, his name is Casey Smith.
Hmm.
He fought bulls for Burns and Powder River, and
Oh
he
yeah.
was a Mount State Circuit finals bullfighter, and so he rode and fought bulls, and so definitely been in the mix of it. Just it's been definitely a different upbringing being in town and stuff, opposed to having a practice pen in your backyard and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I know that story really well, actually. I grew up my childhood in Arvada, So,
Yeah.
right outside of Denver. And I got really lucky actually that at the time, Bob West, and the Bar W Slash, they actually had an arena in town essentially, and then town
Yeah.
surrounded them or whatever. So it made it really nice to have something so close by and still be in the city. But you're right, it's interesting. And that's where, with bull riding and, not to get off topic a little bit, but there's so many opportunities, for guys like yourself, that are in somewhere like Loveland or like a Denver area or just in the city that
Yeah.
are athletic and have the ability to really get on and ride rank bulls. It's just trying to
Yeah.
provide an easier and better, path to getting things started. And like I said, big shout out to Dalton and Dallas Willis for, putting in the work and providing good bulls and Rob Button providing a good place
Yeah.
to go and get on for sure.
Yeah. Them guys are awesome. If it wasn't for them, I mean, there's definitely other guys, around here that have stuff, but I trust them more than anybody, I think, anymore, because they're not putting you on something that, they're not just trying to get trips on bulls.
Yeah.
They're trying to put you on stuff that's going to make you better. And that's helped me a lot for sure. So,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dallas specifically, I think he's got obviously he's got a huge heart. He's just a good person in general, but he's
yeah.
doing it for the right reasons, and helping create more bull riders, which is also where, like, right now I'm pumped for our area in general. And you look at, let's just take Denver to Casper, whatever, right here on the I-25 corridor, and
Yeah.
you've got a lot of really good bull riders in general that
Yeah.
are starting to come of age, like, and you're right there a part of them. And again, big shout out to Kling, and what he's
Yeah.
done, over there and helping those kids get started. So I think, our area for bull riding has got a big time future ahead of it.
Yeah, for sure. Coda's doing an awesome job with them little guys over there, and just having another place for guys to get on and you
Yeah.
know come up at the right pace. They're not coming up getting on stuff that they're not ready for, and so
Yeah, no,
it's really
exactly. I
good.
think you're going to see, in the next few 4 or 5 years, you're going to see a lot of bull riders from our area, and you can go back and you can, thank the Dakota Klings and the Dallas Willises and stuff for that, and
Yeah.
even back, like I said, I brought up Kevin, and I just realized that, that you kind of right there at a different time frame, but like, like the Cody Lostros of the world, Josh Koshels of the
Yeah.
world, having those opportunities, to build a foundation. I mean, that's, so we're gonna see a lot more of those guys, and you're right there, a part of it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I was fortunate to get in, or last summer to get some time in with Cody and Josh too. At Cody's house, he had a handful of bulls that he was bucking there for the summer. And so that was really good to be around guys, that have been there and done that kind of a deal. And so they're
Yeah, for
another one
sure.
that were
Yeah,
fun to hang around. So,
we're extremely lucky to have a world champion right down the road, and a coach now, and just one that might be in the top 10 best bull riders of all time. I could make a really
yeah.
strong argument that he absolutely is, and if not, one of the strongest or the best bull rider in the mountain states and Pacific time zones. It's kind of an
Yeah.
argument I've had in the past, um. But yeah, so anyway, man, when you look at your season right now, you're number 8, you've got over $10,000 won in the circuit. Um,
Yep.
tell me about, so West Cliff, right? You just really made a rank bull ride in West Cliff. Was that the big?
Yeah. That one definitely got things going in the right direction for sure. Had a bull summits called Twisted Smoke, and he jumped out there right into my mitt and just went to him. And I ended up tying with Mason Spain from Forney, Texas. We were both 90 there, but it definitely was a game changer for this summer. So it
Yeah,
was.
definitely. Would you say, I mean, like, I love asking this question to any bull rider, but would you say it was your best ride of all time, or where does that?
Yeah, it's definitely been the highlight of my career so far. Um, I
Yeah.
haven't, I've been mid 80s, but never been up there close to it. So it was definitely pretty fun, and it was fun having my dad there with me. I've been trying to drag him along to at least one, and it was fun to have him there at that one to see that. So
Yeah, heck yeah. So that's the one of the ones he was able to make it to and to throw down
yeah,
a 90 pointer, that had to feel good.
yeah, it was awesome. So
Yeah, that's for sure. That's good, man. And like I said, and then so then you've won Steamboat, a couple different times, I mean, but in general, you've got your sights set on the Mountain State circuit and what else specifically goal wise do you have for the year right now?
just definitely trying to make circuit finals. Like I said, last year I had, I just wanted to kind of get things figured out because I had an idea of how to, enter and whatnot. Be like it was all online, so it
Hmm.
was fairly easy to kind of navigate. And so this year I really started it off in June, um, in Grover and Evergreen, just trying to get to more rodeos this year to make it happen. Um, and where I'm sitting, I really think it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, I think you got to lock, maybe lock's a little bit strong, probably need a little bit more, but
Yeah,
probably good, quite possibly, I would say a pretty good lock at making the circuit finals, which will be a huge, feather in your cap in general and just getting the
yeah,
ball rolling on, just your career and where it might go from here. I mean, like you said, when you talk about these bull riders, and I keep an eye on every single one of you, and you look at the other Colton and stuff too, and some of the success he's had here in the last couple of weeks and
yeah.
where you guys might be going. But right now, like I said, you have yourself a good, run this year, the circuit finals, and then you look into 2026, and the possibility of maybe rodeoing harder or trying to win a circuit year end, or what would that look like, do you think? What kind of big goals do you have around the corner?
Next year I definitely like to get into some bigger rodeos. Like this year I missed out on Denver,
Yeah, it was going to be one of my
because I
next questions. Yeah.
because I was up at school. But like go to Denver and like definitely over the summer try and hit some rodeos that like as a permit guy I wasn't getting into. But next year with having that, you know, it's all about having that kind of like title, if you have like a name to yourself, it
Yeah.
definitely helps. So it'd be nice to, make the circuit finals and have the ability to get into some of those bigger rodeos and definitely go for the year end title at the circuit finals. And like even this year, just, jump out there and see what happens, because in years prior, it's been open to pretty much anybody if, you get something road. So,
Yeah, exactly. And still have some pretty good sized rodeos, on our circuit around the corner. So you never know what might happen and where you might be able to get a big check. But, in an effort to kind of get there and kind of your path there. So you went to Torrington, or where'd you go to school? College?
Riverton, Wyoming, up at Central Wyoming.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. You went to Central, and
Yeah.
then did you rodeo for them?
Yeah, I rodeoed for the last 2 years, and then I'll rodeo for another two, just to finish out my school and stuff. And so and the opportunity is awesome too, because they have like the PRCA, you can ride on your permit for more than 2 years if you're in college.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to take advantage of that and be able to, do like what Hayden Welsh is doing and stay on his permit and just, win a pile and, be able to understand the game fully. And then by the time I'm ready, be able to go for a full year and try and win the rookie of the year. And so,
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome to hear that, man. Because to me, sometimes and a lot of it's hindsight 2020. But if you have specifics, and that's kind of where I was going with that. And anytime I have that conversation, when you have specific goals and a specific path and what your plan is, and building a foundation on how you're going to get to, that end goal. I mean, that's exactly what you like to hear, especially because. Like to your point, like when you said sometimes an accolade or something to kind of hang your hat on type of thing goes a long ways, because
yeah,
and not to take anything away from great bull riders. I mean, you could rattle a whole bunch of names off that, have won huge bull ridings and made a bunch of money and all the things, but at the end of the day, you can't say world champion or, circuit champion and that, they will never be able to take that title away from you, and so
Yeah.
when I look at, like I said, the rookie of the year, you've had other people make comments, like multi-world champions, talk about how important the rookie of the year is because you only have one opportunity to do it, and
Yep, and
so
you only get that one shot. So
yeah, you lose it or you don't quite get there, you never have the chance to come back and try to win it again. So I think that
yep.
sounds like a great plan, man, and a great goal to just, follow through with and play it out. But we talked a little bit about, kind of, champion living and Doug and some of the things they're doing there. And you had an opportunity to kind of work with him. And so are you working with him on the working out and the physical aspect of riding bulls, or what's that looking like for you right now?
So Doug's kind of helped me with kind of, I guess you could say, media side and kind of like
Oh, okay.
learning how to reach out, to potential sponsors and stuff like that, and kind of get that extra little cushion to have, when you're not winning. But he's definitely too with the working out. I use his app and stuff that they have. I don't personally work out with him, but I definitely reach out and when I have questions. And
Yeah.
he's an awesome dude, and the program that they have going is, I think, the best in the game. You got to stay healthy while you're while you're doing it, or it just
Yeah, for
doesn't
sure.
work. So
And especially like I said, the way that program is, you're kind of working on like an actual bull rider, like what an actual bull rider would need to be the best athlete possible. I mean, it's one thing to, go in a gym and throw weight around, but do you have the flexibility and the movement in your hips and your core
yeah.
strength and all the different things, I mean, I think that's definitely one of the best parts about it, is it's catered to you guys and they're doing a good job over there. Were you an athlete in high school? Did you play any sports in high school, or how did that look?
Yeah, I started out playing tackle football and from like second grade till right before high school. I quit playing and then I wrestled from sixth grade till my freshman year. But then I broke my foot going into high school, and it was right around like the summer training for football and stuff. And I had the interest to do it, but I never really got much bigger than I did in middle school. And so I was like, unless I get bigger, I'm not really gonna fit into the lineup here. And from when I was younger, I had a hard time putting weight on and stuff. I just didn't get very big. And I always had a lot of interest in rodeo, and I just was playing a bunch of other sports. But then I noticed that when I stopped playing other sports and just started rodeoing, but I could stay healthier just doing one.
Gotcha.
And I really enjoyed riding bulls, so I was like, I think the other ones have got to go. But
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then right when you probably started to notice a big swing in your consistency and your ability to ride bulls too, I would imagine.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely stayed way healthier doing just one and being able to focus on one. And
Yeah. Yeah. Because then if you're dinged up or whatever, then you can focus on, getting healthy or whatever. And,
yeah,
these guys, like young high school kids will then have to go into a football season or whatever, carrying that injury with them or whatever the case may be. So,
yeah,
yeah, no, that makes sense. But I do love the wrestling piece too. It's always interesting to me when you see the correlation between somebody who's got wrestling experience to being a great bull rider. I mean that's there's so many different examples of that. So I would imagine that probably maybe helped have a little bit of foundation to begin with.
yeah. I definitely think they definitely are kind of hand in hand. You got to be pretty scrappy to do either one. And I think it helped a lot with, going from wrestling to riding bulls and stuff. The aggression is there. You got to be aggressive in either one. And so that helped a lot. And then
Yeah,
it
for
kept
sure.
wrestling kept me in the best shape. I still wish I could go and wrestle somewhere, just to keep me in shape. Because when I was wrestling, I'd go into football or something. I was better shape than any of them guys because, they push you hard and
Oh
kept
yeah.
you in shape. So.
Yeah, wrestling is about as tough as it gets. That's so I just still absolutely love it. old now, 43 years old. But like I said, I like wish that I could go out and wrestle every now and then a bunch of other 40-year-olds. Maybe not my 20-year-old self, but yeah, no, it's just cool, and you see a lot of them, state champions or college wrestlers or whatever, and then they become good bull riders. But and then the sport of bull riding right now too, I mean, is just it doesn't get any better. I like I said, I was a football player and wrestler or whatever, and I love both. But dad was a bull rider, and I just love bull riding to the core.
Yeah.
But when you look at it and where you see some of you younger guys like we were just talking about and putting together 90-point bull rides in Westcliff and having this success, and I could name off a good handful of you guys that are right around the same age, right here just from our area, let alone if you go out, beyond Colorado and Wyoming. But I feel really good about it, honestly. So last week I had four bull ridings, one in Colorado, two in Oregon, one in California. And I mean, at every single one of them, they probably covered almost 10 bulls at each one, or let's say maybe, 40% of the bulls got rode, if not
Yeah.
maybe even more than that. And that's just been really encouraging to see,
Yeah.
and starting to see some of these guys really not only get to the 8-second whistle, get to the whistle, but making some damn good bull rides, like riding Sterling the other day, he's 89 and a half. And I mean, it was a pretty dang ranked bull ride, and so really starting to see a turn. Do you feel like you're seeing that same sort of thing?
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with the money,
Uh-huh.
Anymore, you just keep your hand shut and go, even if you're not 80 points or higher, there's a lot of places if you just keep your hand shut, you're gonna win something.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that drives it a lot. But like I said, there or like you said, there's a lot of young guys coming up that have been hungry for it since they were, you know, little guys, and now they're
Yeah.
to the point where they can really go and do it.
Yep. And have
Like
gone through the process the right way, like we talked about. I think that has
yeah,
so much to do with it. And that you get these guys that have been on a bunch of bulls, but if you've been on nothing but just double ranked 3-year-olds your whole life, eventually
yeah,
it starts to break you down, and so
yeah,
yeah, so like I said, the Haydens, the Brensons, yourself, and
yeah,
Colton,
for sure.
Dalton. I mean, Hunter, just all right in here. And I was actually out at Rob's place the other day, and got to see, River started a really good bull ride, and so you get him rolling again. I mean, he can be as good as
Yeah.
he come too, so it's pretty dang cool.
Yep, it'd be fun to see him back. I know he's dealt with a lot of injuries for a couple of years, and so it's fun to see him kind of stepping back into it a little bit here and there. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I just, so honestly proud of all you guys in this area, and every single time I see a win, like to see Hayden and Brenson have some of those success there at Cheyenne. I mean, that didn't
yeah.
doesn't get much better than that. And so over the next 5 years, I think that you guys got a big future. Have you gone to any PBRs or anything like along those lines, or you right now just tunnel focused and looking at the PRCA?
Well, mostly just PRCA. I've had some guys kind of reach out and ask if I was interested, in kind of getting on their Challenger Series deal. And I definitely have, like it's definitely in the back of my mind to make that happen at some point. I just haven't necessarily thought about it near as much as I have like with the PRCA. I definitely think, stepping into the PRCA has kind of developed my riding a little bit more, getting on stuff, getting on different stuff more so,
Yeah.
because in like the high school rodeos, it was mostly the same guy every week. But like going to these pro rodeos and even some of the amateur rodeos, we're seeing different bulls each week. Um, you know, so I think it's helped a lot because I'm not seeing the same bull or getting on the same bull every week.
Yeah.
It's something different and it makes me ride completely different each time. So
Yeah, you're right. Even just like, and even if you have a different set of contractors, sometimes the pattern's the same, the
yeah,
bull, the same pattern, and like you're right. When you go from like where are you going this week? You're going to Craig and then to Afton. I mean, I
yeah,
mean,
we go to starting Rollins on Wednesday and then go over to Craig and then Afton and then we'll come back for Steamboat Saturday. So
oh, perfect. See, right there. I mean, that's lined up for a good chunk of money this weekend. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, you get a couple of those, maybe have some success at all four of them. Hopefully, I mean, anything could happen. And how you feeling? How's your body holding up throughout the summer, getting on this many bulls?
It's definitely starting to get a little, definitely noticing it a little bit more. Been kind of dealing with I don't know if it's torn or just kind of strained, but like my groins are, definitely feeling it a little bit. But I'd taken the couple days off definitely has helped too. I think I was getting to a point where I wasn't feeling 100%, so I wasn't, it was definitely showing in my riding. But yeah, I feel really good going into this week. Definitely got some stuff that's good to, go win it on. So
Yeah, good, man. And then, like I said, to maybe a couple days off, and I know, Loveland that had to sting a little bit, to sit out your hometown rodeo, but that might pay off huge dividends over the next couple weeks just by giving yourself that little bit of breather.
yeah, for sure. And I like at Yuma, I had a really good one, a Smith Pro Rodeo. And I was like, if I'm not like, I think they called him Bad News or something like that, couple time PBR finals bull. And, I was that one really hurt to, sit out on that one,
Oh
especially
yeah.
because there was a good bit of money added and they rode one bull the first day. And so there was definitely the opportunity to go and make something happen there. And same thing at Loveland. They've only rode one bull so far and last perf is tonight. So there's still
Yeah.
a lot of money up for grabs, but I
Yeah.
definitely still, like I said, I feel comfortable where I'm at, and feel good about taking a couple days to kind of recoup and go back at it. So
Yeah, no, that's good, man. I think it'll, like I said, it'll probably pay off, and you probably have another run here, that you might not have in another situation, and you see that
yeah,
happen so many times now. And like, like with Josh Frost last year, that's a great example, right? He kind of had a good run going, and and then had to kind of let up and watch his name drop down just a little bit, but knew that if he was
yeah,
stronger going into the NFR, he'd be a world champion. It's exactly how it played out. So that could darn sure be the case for you as well, my man. And so, well, I sure do appreciate you, jumping on here with me. I mean, like I said, not yourself and everybody, all those other guys around here. You guys have really kind of challenged each other, and you can see all ships rise or whatever, when you guys are working and
yeah.
getting after it like that. And so keep doing what you're doing, man. And we look forward to, kind of seeing how the rest of your season plays out, and we'd love to have you back on. But and I guess I'll be seeing you in just 2 days.
Yep, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm excited to keep it going and seeing what the rest of the season has in store and go have fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully we have yourself a win or two this weekend, and like I said, I look forward to seeing you, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, play out that plan, and make that rookie run, and go for that rookie title, and who knows what will happen over the next 5 years, 10 years plus. So, but I'll look forward to seeing you and Craig there, Colton. And for now, folks, this is the Woodshed with Cody Wood on the Equus Radio Network. Thank you for joining us here and chatting with one of the up and coming bull riding superstars here at Colton Clymer. So we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
If you enjoyed the podcast, let us know. Contact Cody Wood at cody@equistelevision.net. Thanks for listening, and join us every week right here on the Equus Radio Network.